Hi guys, and welcome to the Pet Quarter. In this video we are going to address the question, what are the best things to fill your Kong with? Now, Kong is one of the most ubiquitous toys and enrichment items a dog can have. I have several for my dog, and it's one of those things that is present everywhere. Kong is a very popular brand and their toys and items are absolutely everywhere. But we do have a bone to pick with a couple things they do. The first thing I am going to address is that, yes, a treat is always a treat and you can give your dog whatever you want as a treat within moderation. But giving your dog things that are not biologically appropriate time and time again for long periods of time is not going to do your dog well in the long term. So if you are going to give your dog any treats whatsoever, you can happily do so. However, if your dog has any sort of allergies or your dog is prone to having any health issues, giving your dog poor treats all the time will lead to health conditions. So why do I not like the Kong paste, which is the first thing I want to address today? Well, the Kong paste, even though is as ubiquitous as the Kong itself, it's not very good. Why is it not very good? Let me read you some of the ingredients within the Kong paste. We have milk, we have water, we have soybean oil, we have whey, we have sodium phosphate, we have whey protein concentrate, salt, carrageen, sodium citrate, we have milk protein concentrate, dry chicken liver, which is okay, natural chicken flavor, that's a preservative, a flavoring, a coloring, whatever you want to call it. Then we have pectin, and then we have a bunch of lactic acids, preservatives, natural flavors, and that sort of thing. So as you can see, the Kong paste, which is extremely popular, is full of preservatives. It's artificial. It's something we would not want to give our dogs all the time. As a treat, okay. As a treat, that is okay. But we think there are better alternatives. So without further ado, what can we give our dog that's going to be better than the Kong liver paste? The first one, and it's the one I like the most, is 100% patties, and you can buy these from anywhere. You can go down to your local shop and you can buy them. They don't have to be from a specific brand, but they are 100% chicken, they're 100% goat, they are 100% venison, they are 100% salmon. Now we can compare and contrast 100% salmon meat and 100% chicken meat with soy concentrates and the natural chicken flavor and pectin and sorbic acid, which is a preservative. And whenever we contrast natural things with non-natural things, we must run towards things that are natural for our dogs. Remember that if your dog is prone to having any sort of health issues, if you know what you are giving the dog, you will be able to identify much better what is wrong with them because of the food you are given. There will be a one-to-one direct correlation. For example, if you give your dog animal fats and your dog has a reaction to that food, you will not know what animal that fat is coming from, and that will make your job a lot harder because you won't be able to pinpoint to identify what's happening. So anyway, 100% patties are absolutely amazing to put in the Kong. The second item would be peanut butter for dogs. These peanut butter for dogs can be bought anywhere as well. You can buy them, they have no preservatives, and they are pretty good. They're a good source of protein, they're a good source of fat, and they are quite filling as well. So they'll be classed as food. Natural peanut butter, pretty good for a Kong. Third one are broths, natural meaty broths. You can put these broths inside the Kong and then freeze the Kong, and then whenever you defrost the Kong, you give it to the dog and the dog will be occupied hopefully for hours and hours. Again, these broths can be bought from your local pet shop, from your big pet retailer, or online. These are incredible, they are meaty, and they are wonderful. Make sure the broth you buy is clearly labeled, make sure the broth you buy is a meat-based broth, and your dog will absolutely love it. The last thing I want to give you as a very good treat to put in a Kong, but don't stuff the Kong full with this item, would be natural yogurt. Natural yogurt is pretty beneficial for dogs. It will be a source of protein, it will be a source of healthy fats, and it's a source of probiotics. So if your dog has gut health problems, natural yogurt will be beneficial. Aside from the Kong paste, what should we not give our dogs in their Kong? Well, there's a lot of people that will put whatever they deem necessary, whatever they deem appropriate in the Kong, even though these items aren't the best for dogs. Let me give you an example. A lot of people will put things like mashed potato, butternut squash, things like broccoli, any vegetables and any fruits inside the Kong, and they will give their dogs a lot of veggies and a lot of fruit, thinking these are beneficial to dogs. Remember that dogs do not need any carbohydrates whatsoever. Dogs make their own blood sugar in a process called gluconeogenesis. Now, the way they make their own blood sugar, which gives them energy, is from protein and fat. So it is a lot more beneficial for your dog to have protein and fat than there is to have any carbohydrates whatsoever. And remember that whenever you give your dog any carbohydrates, say rice, say potato, say fruit, that will have to be converted into sugar for your dog to be able to use that energy. And if you look at the canines, they cannot chew food, which is a very good indication that you should be focusing your attention on meaty things for your dog. Meat, protein and fat for your dog, and not carbohydrates. A little carbohydrate will be okay and will be fine, but it is very likely that the food you are giving them already contains some carbohydrates. So I would steer away from anything that isn't meat or meaty for the dog. As an alternative, what you can do is get good quality wet food, and you can stuff the Kong with the wet food. Now, again, make sure the wet food doesn't contain any cereals, doesn't contain any meat and animal derivatives, and it doesn't contain any sugars or dextrose, for example. A lot of wet foods contain so many preservatives and so many things that are vague that aren't good for dogs. So make sure that for whatever you give the dog, you read the ingredients on the back of the bag of food or the can or the tin of food you are giving the dog. If you see meat and animal derivatives, any cereals, any sugars, any dextrose, anything that we cannot identify, we should stay away from those. So pate, peanut butter, yogurt, or good quality wet food are much better alternatives than the Kong paste or any veggies or any fruits you can give your dog. Remember that your dog is a meat and bone eater. They do not have this thing called amylase in their mouth to break down starches, so they can struggle breaking down carbohydrates. So yeah, again, as a treat, there is nothing inherently wrong with giving your dog whatever you want as a treat. But if your dog has any sort of health issues or is prone to having health issues, the more vague the treats, the more vague the ingredients in the food, the less likely you are going to be to stay away from the vet. So always read the ingredients, always do your own research. Those have been some alternatives to the Kong paste, to the Kong liver paste, especially for puppies. We do not want to be putting all these preservatives and colorants and flavorings in our puppies, and keep it natural, keep it healthy, and your dog will be a lot happier. What do you put in the Kong? Let me know down in the comments. And for a selection of very good foods, please click in the link below. We only stock food that is phenomenal for dogs. We could sell all sorts of things and we could tell you that those foods are incredible, but we don't out of principle. We sell a small selection of very good foods, and those foods can be found in the link down in the description. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.